Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Do us a huge favor, smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. It really helps get the word out. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray and Benny Sports. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, also on Reddit and Discord. And don't forget, leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
And shout out to our show sponsor, Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Stand out on the ice, pavement field, or in the stands with a custom airbrush helmet, goalie mask, or any type of project. A local Manitoba business with affordable solutions. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431.
And don't forget to tell them that Ray and Benny sent you.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers taking on the Hamilton Tigercats. First repeat matchup of the year.
And last matchup between these two teams of the year.
Get
Already.
out of the way quick. Bomber fans, don't forget, smash that subscribe button. Let's start looking at the Bomber blueprint. Offense, defense, special teams. Let's start off with offense. I'll go first. They got to use that running game, especially on first down. Set the tempo, be physical, beat down Hamilton's D-line. Hamilton is top two. I can't remember first or second against the run. But the Bombers really have had their best years when they get the power game going. And I think they have the personnel to do it. They have just been reluctant to do it. So yes, I'm going to now start on my yearly campaign for the Bombers to employ more heavy set. Like in past years, I had no issues with it not being used as often as they should, but just use it as your base already. They need to find a way to slow down the opponent's pass rush, especially in the latter stages of the game. And I feel that being physical early will do that. And it helps slow down the game because they can't go toe-to-toe with Hamilton, I don't think. They can't leave Hamilton in a shootout or with a win with a shootout.
Yeah, I think that might be the path that this game is probably going to take, though. So you're going to have this offense running on all cylinders. 4 Americans to start on the O-line for the Bombers as well, right? Because Gabe Wallace is out and Mika Mazuka is in at left guard. So that's huge right there, right? So that obviously changes the ratio for the Bombers. Yeah. You got to be able to protect Zach Collaros a bit better. He needs time. The arm strength's not there anymore for Zach Collaros. It's not always there. So he needs that time to step into those throws and get that ball downfield because you need to kind of spread this offense around. And maybe that's what helps Oliveira open up some holes, right? Is being able to have a consistent pass game going on here. So finish those drives. You can't leave these drives, especially against Hamilton, with field goals, right? And I guess, you got to be able to put touchdowns on the board. And we know Winnipeg's record in Hamilton has not always been great. And there's been some massacres, even when the Ticats have had some shitty teams. So really, you're going to have to get those touchdowns and stay with the Hamilton Ticats because that Ticat offense is rolling so far this year.
Especially that passing game. We'll talk about the defense in a bit. And we'll actually talk about Zach Collaros and his play in a bit. But I am not questioning his arm strength at this point. I see a quarterback who really doesn't get to set his feet on a lot of downs, especially the long throws or when they're in second and long. He never really gets a chance to be in the pocket and step into a throw. He's usually either on the move or his feet are just not set because there's always pressure in his face. So I haven't seen enough to say that I question his arm strength.
There's times he's one-hopping balls, but I that's what I'm saying. Like, he needs time. He needs time to step into these throws and get this ball downfield. Because we haven't had a lot of big plays down the field, from what I can think of off the top of my head here. So one
to Dembski, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
40-yard or something like that.
Yeah.
Shit. Defense. What do they need to do on defense? You go first.
Biggest thing, generate some pressure. I don't know how you're going to do it. Hopefully, it looks like Jake Sreza is playing. I know he was injured for most this week, but the depth chart does have him in there. Bombers are going with a bunch of D-line this time, dressing 7 altogether.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we're keeping some guys fresh, but we need some pressure from that other side. Lawson's got to cover that whole corner since playing. Reese is in there. He's got to make do something. I mean, you can't rely on Willie Jefferson and Jake Seresna to do everything. And when those guys are held off the score sheet, you see what happens. And Edmonton took advantage of that last game. So get after that. You got to get that first down. You got to put Joel Levi in second and long. Of course, on that second and long, you need someone to step up and make the stop. Better tackling. Let's go. The defense needs to come together. They weren't terrible against the Elks. They had their good moments, but they still gave up some huge drives in that game, and especially a late one in that game. So they're really going to need to be on their toes this game, and someone's going to need to make a difference.
I think the thing that really need to focus on is getting off that field on second down. Like, the Bombers give up the second least amount of yards on first, but they give the highest percentage on second down conversions. So it's kind of mind-boggling and a little unacceptable. Like, they have teams in the right position to stop them, but they're not getting off the field. If you don't get off the field, the offense is getting stay on the sidelines. They can't get into the rhythm. Less possessions obviously means less opportunities to score. And the Bombers already have the second least amount of possessions in the league. So they got to get the other team off, especially Bo Levi Mitchell. They got to get them off the field on second down.
You can't give him time. If you're going to give Bo time, he's going to pick you apart, especially on 2nd and 15 or whatever it is. Like if your first down play works, you got to have something else in that back pocket that'll help you get that second play to work as well and stop them. Even if they make the catch, tackle. If it's a second and 15, a 10-yard catch, you got to make that tackle, right? You can't let them get a few more yards because then 3rd down and 1 is basically a guarantee almost in the CFL, right? So you got to make those, and the defense has got to step up. You need those linebackers to make some plays. DBs. Come on, someone's got to make that play on the ball and get at it this week and get it going.
Yeah, you said the Bombers have to leave with more touchdowns than field goals. The defense has to stop Hamilton from getting touchdowns and limit them to field goals.
Yeah.
Hamilton is 40% at scoring on their touchdown drives.
Maybe they'll be a bit rusty after having last week off.
Bombers
will be better.
Bombers are also giving up a lot of touchdowns on drives. So
yeah,
this matchup with Scott Milanovich and Bo Levi Mitchell, Scott Milanovich has helped for sure rekindle Bo Levi Mitchell's career. He is on fire. What's it, like 140 efficiency or something crazy like that?
We were talking a couple of years ago about the end of Bo Levi. Once Calgary got rid of him for Jake Mayer, that was it. Bo Levi was done, and look what he's done. And he was terrible for a couple of years, but somehow he's rejuvenated himself.
And look what Jake Mayer's doing. Oh yeah, my goodness, Ottawa.
Ottawa.
We'll talk about quarterbacks in a second. Special teams. I'm gonna be quick. Sergio Castillo has to be better.
Yeah, they potentially win that Elks game with him hitting those 2 field goals, which he's usually money from under 50. 5 of 8 only on this year. Terrible percentage. Those are 2 big misses. But yeah, he's got to get it done. Return game, again, win the field battle kind of thing. But we really need Sergio to step up. And, if he's getting to that point where the longer field goals are tough, we can't keep relying on taking it easy and settling in that 40-yard range, right? Yeah. This offense has got to start pushing that ball down the field and getting closer. But again, we talked about it. No field goals, TDs.
What was it last game? Yeah, I think it was last game where Vavel had one bounce off his chest.
Yeah.
But he recovered it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not pushing too hard and looking for the big one, which may end up in a turnover. Like, we do want to see him break one. But I'm not even, now I've mentioned it. I didn't want to mention it to jinx it. But now, we hope that he gets the big one, but not force it and put the team fast. But just like when Daniels tried to hurdle the guy, they can't be doing plays like that. They have to be very cautious with the ball. I didn't have that on my list, but now thinking back, they have to be cautious with the ball. They can't turn the ball over to Hamilton and give them more scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and that was the thing against the Elks, right? Those turnovers by the offense obviously hurt.
Right.
Turnovers hurt no matter what. But in the position that they gave those balls away, especially on the one drive where they're inside the 20,
Yeah.
The fumble by Oliveira that got taken back into the Bombers 10 or 5 or whatever it was, right? So those are huge. And you're playing the Elks, who are having a good season so far, but they're not a firepower on offense, kind of thing.
Not yet. Just wait.
Hamilton will make you pay, right? And the defense
Yes.
stepped up for the Bombers on some of those plays and made the Elks settle for field goals instead. So yeah, but Hamilton will definitely make you pay. I feel it with Pavel, right? Because he coming off that season last year. Now you're probably putting a ton of pressure on yourself this year because you also, hey, you want to probably get that other shot again at the NFL, right? And the only way to do that is to return a bunch of balls for touchdowns. So yeah, I can see him putting that pressure on himself early to make a play, especially when the Bombers are losing that game. So yeah, I agree with you. He needs to just focus on ball security first, and then get the good return.
Yes. Which player absolutely has to have a breakout game this week for Winnipeg to get back on track?
I'm going to go with Zach Collaros. Wasn't his best game against the Elks. Wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't the way he was in the first couple weeks of the season. So it all starts with him, really, right? And I know that it kind of starts with that O-line, really, in a way. But Zach Collaros needs to be smart. He needs to get that ball out. He needs to get the ball into his playmakers' hands, and hopefully, push that ball downfield a little bit, and without turnovers, right? You got to push that Hamilton D back a bit, and hopefully open things up for Brady Oliveira.
Yeah.
And again, you can't be going 2-and-outs because this defense needs their time. They can't put pressure on that defense to be continually trying to stop Boldy and Ryan Mitchell. So I think Zach's going to have to have an efficient week running this offense, and Tommy Condell needs to do better at calling plays as well. Because I mean, there was a couple. It's 2nd and 7, I think, and they bombed it downfield instead. It's like, hey, just get the first down. Let's go. Let's move this ball. So yeah, I expect a lot out of Zach and Tommy Condell this week.
Yeah, there's a lot of criticisms to be had about last game, but when you look at it, take away the turnovers, Castillo makes field goals, this is a different game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say Jake Ceresna needs to have a big game if he's for sure good to go. I'm sure he is good to go, full participant on the roster there now. The Bombers have 5 sacks this season, 4 of them coming in week 1, 3 of them by Ceresna. Like we said earlier, Bo Levi Mitchell cannot stand in the pocket all day. If he does, it's going to be a disaster. The D-line play has been horrible, and it's just not against the pass. The Bombers are giving up, 150-something yards of rushing against? Like, I'm not going to put it all, obviously, on Jake Ceresna, but if he has a big game, gets a couple tackles, losses, even pushes the guard or center more into Bo Levi Mitchell's face, more of a disruption, I think the Bombers need that to get back on track.
Yeah, they were getting some good pressures against the Elks. They had Fajardo running a few times for his life. Didn't get the sack, but it caused enough disruption to screw up the play for the Elks. So yeah, exactly. You need
Bo
that.
Levi is not as mobile.
No. Well, except on 2nd and 15.
Well, that was wide open field. That's different. And there's no one around him. It's crazy. Should this be a make or break game for Jordan Younger? I'm going to say no. We've seen this scheme-ish work before. I'm just not totally bought in on the personnel on the D-line. And I don't think firing him would make this defense any better. Who are they going to pick up? You can give the keys back to Richie Hall. He's still on the staff anyway, so how different would that defense look? DB play hasn't been stellar. We've seen a lot of DBs being beat on one-on-ones, like even Moxie and what's his name in Hamilton? The first game they played against each other. Former Bomber, Carrick Wheatfall.
No, yeah.
Moxie was like on his pocket on a couple of those, and he's being beat one-on-one. He's having the ball ripped out of the sky. So they have to win those one-on-one battles. And that doesn't always go on Jordan Younger's shoulders. So, and we complain about the blitz. We see other teams also blitzing, also showing 7 or 6 at the line, but they're winning their one-on-one battles to get to the quarterback. So I don't think that's on Jordan Younger. And part of it is on Walters because maybe the personnel isn't quite there to get the push on the defensive line, especially on the interior. So I'm going to say no, not make or break for Jordan Younger at this point.
Yeah, it's not. I'm going to agree with you on that. but he's getting there, right? The Heat's going to get there, especially if they have a terrible game this week. Um, Defense is still giving up big plays, and I don't know if Reddick Cramby's the guy to be the guy at safety. You're talking about personnel. He's had some good moments, but he's also part of the problem of the big explosive plays that are happening downfield. D-line, yes, you need more out of them. You need to get that pressure, and you're talking about the blitzes. Other teams seem to get through. So is it the actual blitz, the design of the blitz that's not getting through? Because if that's the case, then yeah, that's a Jordan Younger thing, right? He needs to figure out better positions for these guys. This is the personnel you got. They had a bye. They didn't bring anyone else in, right? And chances are they're not going to. Unless we get into September with NFL cuts or late August with NFL cuts, then maybe they're taking a look around there. But right now, this is what you got, and you got to make it work. And we've talked about it with Tony Wilson playing on the outside instead of a middle linebacker. Still a question there, what's going on and why they're doing that. But yeah, you got to get pressure on Bo Levi, and that to me starts with Jordan Younger, right? You got the guys you got to make them play. And like you say, if you fire Jordan Younger, you're just bringing in Richie Hall. It's going to be the same defense.
But like, what happened to the pressure in week
change.
1? That personnel got to, obviously it's week 1. So maybe Calgary's O-line wasn't as tight as they are right now because they're looking good, or they're looking decent.
They look good the other day.
I'm not going to put it all on Jordan Younger yet.
Yeah.
But like you said, it could be coming. It's closer than far away.
Oh, yes.
Who has Bomber fans? What are your thoughts on Jordan Younger? What do the Bombers have to do to beat the Hamilton Tigercats? And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Who has been Winnipeg's biggest pleasant surprise so far this season?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like going through the list, it's like no one's really stepped up and outshone other guys. People are doing their jobs. I'm going to go because I've been on the DBs a lot and not, expecting more of them. I'm going to go with Evan Holm. Guy's still been solid back there, making plays, covering his wide receiver, his receiver, doing his job. The only thing I want more out of him is maybe some turnovers, some interceptions, a little bit more in that kind of sense. But to me, Evan Holm has been not a surprise. I guess that's who he is. Yeah. He's done that for years, but he's still been solid back there, even though the defense has been giving up a lot of yards and points.
Yeah, I'm always a huge fan of Evan Holm. I'm going to say pleasant surprise so far this season, Jamison Sheehan. Longest average right now, longest punt at 75 yards, leads the league in punts inside the 10. He's been progressing really nicely this season. And that's a good thing. When he's playing, because he's playing, he's getting punts in. But you're not hearing his name a lot because he's being consistent and doing a damn good job. So shout out to Jamison Sheehan. Which off-season departure has hurt the Bombers the most through the first 4 weeks? You talked about DBs, I'll talk about DBs, and I'm going to go DeMario Houston. I don't think I'm not saying that he'd be the game changer big time, but he has that certain swagger in the backfield that's, Evan Holm's a solid player, but he's solid and doesn't bring a lot of swagger. You know what I mean? So I think we're missing that attitude on the defense a little, that edge. And maybe I'm full of garbage, but I'm going to say DeMario Houston because of that reason. And of course, he's a great shutdown corner too.
It's funny that you say that now that I think about it, because you always had that one. Like the Bombers have had those guys, right? Javon Johnson type of guys.
You got to have those guys.
You need someone back. You got Nichols back there and Holm who are good at their job, but very quiet kind of guys, right?
Sure.
We haven't seen much out of Moxie yet. So far, he hasn't had a great season or a good start to the season. And then Major Williams on the other side, right? We don't know enough about him, kind of thing. So yeah, you kind of do need that guy with a little bit of swagger back there, right? And I agree with that. I'm going to go James Waters because you just need someone on that other side. And I know he wasn't lights out last year, but he brought that veteran presence. And I think he ended up with 6 sacks at least, right? So you have that guy on the other side of Willie Jefferson. And now if you throw Drake Seresna in there, I mean, that would have been probably a solid D-line. Hard to pay everybody kind of thing. But yeah, I think that they might be missing that right now.
The past couple seasons, I've just been concerned about the interior of that line. And I know Serezna plays on the interior a lot, but still.
That whole D line has been kind of a mess. Not kind of a mess, but since Jeffco
Not as
was
consistent.
basically released, kind of thing. Like that D line hasn't been as good as it was back then, right? And we're just kind of
No,
trying to piece things together around Willie Jefferson since then.
definitely has not been as dominant as years past. Bomber fans, which offseason departure do you think hurt most, and which Bomber has been the biggest surprise so far this season? Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Is Zach Collaros still playing at a championship level, or is Father Time beginning to show?
He's probably somewhere in the middle. And there's times where Father Time is at him, and then there's other time where you're like, okay, that's Zach Collaros of old kind of thing. And we talked about it. He needs that time now to be able to throw that ball. Whereas before in the past, hey, he could have a guy in his space and still chuck that ball down the field. But obviously, I mean, his mobility was not always the greatest. But as you're getting older, that's getting slower. And he needs that perfect O line. Not perfect, but he needs a better O line to be able to play at a higher level right now. So yes, I think he's somewhere in that middle. And I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm expecting this to be probably his last season kind of thing. But the way some of these quarterbacks have been playing, we're going to talk about this in this league, Zach needs to kind of step into that as well, because he's somewhere middle of the road right now amongst these guys. So yeah, it's getting closer.
Yeah, this was hard for me to answer because I think it is so very dependent on his O line. Just like I think Trevor Harris's play is very dependent on his O line. I think you switch those quarterbacks. I think Zach Collaros is playing almost as good as Trevor Harris is playing right now. And Trevor Harris is playing almost lights out. So that's hard for me to say. Can he be championship level? Yes. Is he Nathan Rourke with athleticism anymore? No. Those days have gone past a long time ago, but those days have gone past since 2019. So you put an O line, yes, he'll win a championship with a good O line, is what I feel. Bomber fans, is Collaros playing at a championship level? No, for me.
You got to get there though, especially the way some of these quarterbacks are playing right now to start this season, right? So
But I don't think Father Time is beginning to show. I don't think so.
I think it is. He's definitely not the same as what he was when he came in here. Those deep balls are hit and miss, and a lot of them I'm holding my breath because I'm thinking they're going to be intercepted.
Yeah. But other quarterbacks on deep balls are missing deep balls too, with a better.
For sure. But I mean, I watched other CFL games, but I'm more focused on Bomber games, right? I see Zach Collaros, that was out there in the stands against the Elks, and the only managed to put up 18 points against an Elks defense that had been giving up a bunch of points, right?
Yeah.
And it was a nice night. There was no rain, there was no weather factor really, and they just couldn't get it done. And I know he didn't fumble, Brady Olivera fumbled kind of thing, but you had an opportunity, even the last drive of that game. I don't know if it was play calling or what, but they had a minute, which is an eternity in the CFL. Yeah. And they barely moved that ball, and they had a good field position as well. They didn't move the ball.
Yeah, but what about that performance signal that it's his age that couldn't get it done?
Again, to me, he's one hopping some balls in there for wide open receivers, not getting there in time. And even on the run, his bread and butter was that run out to the right and either hitting Dalton, Schoen, or the other receiver a little bit deeper. Where has that play gone? He's not the same type of guy that can do that and hit those plays, or he hasn't. Not consistently anymore like he used to. Once he got out to his right years past, you're like, okay, this is either going to Dalton Schoen or the deeper receiver here kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing that.
Again, I think that's O-line struggling. Again, I think that's O-line, not age.
That's my opinion. It's all a factor, but he used to be able to manage, that pressure a little bit better.
But he had such a better O-line. The Bombers had a all-world O-line until Jamarcus Hardrick left. Every time in front of him.
They did, but now
arguably the best O-line in the league until then. And since then, his performance has obviously dipped just like the O-line has.
Well, you brought in Broxton, you got Brian, who, again, another guy that Father Time may be catching up to. And
Yeah.
we talked about the interior of that O line was probably going to be the problem this year.
Yeah.
And so far, it probably has, right?
And
And,
you're seeing the
you know,
pressure. You're seeing the pressure, especially in the fourth quarter on Collaros.
yeah,
Like the
you
guy can't
need
set
to,
his feet for anything. And
exactly.
they can't get the run going. It's crazy.
And teams are realizing that just attack this O line, right? And we'll see. I mean, Hamilton's obviously that's the game plan of any football game. Really get pressure on the quarterback, and you got a great chance of winning. But Winnipeg's got to manage that better.
O line needs to play better. Jesus.
Everybody needs to play better.
Yeah, Bomber fans. What needs to happen there? What needs to happen on the O line? CFL talk. Talking about QB play. A couple seasons ago, fans were saying QB play is a disaster. And it's a major reason why people aren't watching. Well, now QB play has probably been very elite across the league. So, which quarterback has been the biggest surprise of the season so far, for better or worse?
I got to go Nathan Rourke because, like you're saying, some of these quarterbacks, these older quarterbacks, are playing lights out, and the younger guys, Davis Alexander and Chad Kelly came back from a year off and has been chucking up yards. I know he's got a lot of interceptions, but to me, Nathan Rourke at this point in that BC offense, only 4 touchdowns for Nathan Rourke in the air and 2 interceptions. So that's crazy to me. I know he's only played 3 games, but Chad Kelly's at 12, Trevor Harris is at 10, Vernon Adams, I guess what's 7 touchdowns last game is at 11. But yeah, to me, the struggle kind of Nathan Rourke in the BC Lions offense is kind of surprising so far.
Speaking of Vernon Adams, I'm going to go with Vernon Adams. He hasn't been dominating, obviously, since week one. But there's a certain calmness to Vernon Adams this season. His mistakes definitely aren't losing the team the games, and his play actually won the team the game. And I'd like to see if he continues on this trajectory because we're always usually big play VA, maybe a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there. If he consistently grows at this pace, man, Calgary and Edmonton might be pretty darn good. You know,
0 interceptions for
catch 'em.
Vernon Adams.
Yeah.
That's what surprises me, actually.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So,
That's huge.
I'm gonna say he's the biggest surprise right now, and I'll be watching to see if he steps into that because he's always been like the fourth best quarterback, the fifth best quarterback in the league. Let's see if he can step into that top three. If he can knock, who knows who is the top three right now? Alexander,
Harris, Bo,
Harrison, Bo. Let's see. We should do a quarterback rankings.
2 old guys up there, eh?
Jam.
Yeah, can Vernon Adams do this for the whole season though, right? And Calgary's looked pretty good in their last 2 games, 2 wins kind of thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I had Dave Dickinson on the hot seat.
Not anymore.
Now your boy Buck.
Buck and Dinwiddie on the hot seat. But
Oh my god. Does Buck have that ribs restaurant here still?
yeah, this is a huge week for BC, right? Or huge. I guess they're playing today, right? Back in Kelowna.
Yeah. Good environment. Good environment in Kelowna.
Yeah.
They'll never get a team. I don't think.
No. One more.
They'll have to ask the BC Lions owner. That it's his territory, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like old school wrestling. You have your territory. Let's move
Until Vince McMahon shows up.
Oh, you're not allowed to say that word. That's dirty. Let's move on to some Winnipeg Jets talk. Thoughts on Chevy saying Vigo Bjork will play center.
It's good to hear, right? Because we do need that second line center. But we did hear this as well with Cole Perfetti, Brad Lambert center, Brendan Yeager is also center. So we'll see where this goes. But we need him to step up and be that second line center here because we can't go with Lowry at second line center. And obviously Nemestikov down the line and Barron kind of thing. So we need it. We definitely need it. We'll see where it goes. If it's not Bjork, maybe Lambert Yeager steps up and can play that role, but we need it. And the only thing is it's a lot of pressure, right, for Bjork to come in there as a young guy and be that second line center and have these expectations that he's going to help this team win. So hopefully it works out, but I'm not holding my breath that he'll actually get to play center for a full season.
Yeah, I don't think Chevy's saying it guarantees anything. No. Obviously, they need centers, and I'm sure they want to pan out at center. And I'm sure they want him to go into the offseason training or coming into the training camp with the intention of being in center, but that doesn't guarantee anything. In
Not with the
regards
Jets,
to
anyways.
Lowry being 2C or whatever, I think that the Jets have got to step into the new NHL and stop worrying about 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C, and have four lines that they can roll out evenly like Florida does or Carolina does. Like, I get it, as fans and whatever media, they're going to look at the lines, oh, they get more playing time, they're one. But those days are of old. Those days are of old. They have to have lines that will play to the line that they're playing against.
Yeah, but you need the personnel to do it. I mean, the Jets
Exactly, but like
2 years ago, the Jets were playing Lowry, Appleton line just as much as that second line, but they didn't have the same offensive prowess as that second line.
that's how
So yeah,
far away they are personnel wise from being a
exactly. But
contender.
that to me, you should have been playing the second line more in that sense because they had Ehlers, Perfetti guys that can score. Whereas Appleton, Lowry, and Niederreiter, are hit and miss. They have some good games and have a good stretch, but they weren't consistent. So
Yeah.
that's the Jets.
What percentage chance do you give him to play in the NHL this year? 100. Whether it be early or late, he's going to get a few games.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it like that, I put 78. I'm kind of banking on the kind of a whole season kind of thing, but I think he'll definitely start in the
Yeah.
NHL. I'm not sure if he'll last or survive. I mean, the good thing is he looked good in the World Championship playing against men,
Yes.
and in Sweden there too. So he knows he can do it. He got praise even from Sidney Crosby. So excited to see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And especially this development camp that just happened. There was a lot of talk about him and what he did out there. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see. Hopefully he can stick, but again, age is gonna be a factor. He's a young guy. He's gonna have to learn a lot, and the bumps and bruises of the NHL are kind of a little bit different.
I hear, though, he doesn't mind getting dirty in the corners there.
Not a big
5'10", a
kid
little
either,
small,
right?
at what, 5'10", 170, so he's going to have to add some weight,
Yeah.
obviously, just like Freddie had to add some weight over the couple of years. But, he's already shown his ability and willingness to get into the corners and fight for pucks.
Yeah, and that's what he's gonna have to do, especially
Against
at that
men.
size. Yeah.
Shoot, I'm excited already now. Jets fans, what do you think the percentage chance of him playing in the NHL this coming up season? One word to describe the signing of goaltender Stuart Skinner.
I'm gonna go with overpay. I'm not necessarily against the signing, but 3.75, I think it's 2 year deal too, right? It is wild to me as a backup because now you're paying your goaltenders almost 12 million. I mean, to me that seems like a lot. And for Stuart Skinner to be a backup, there had to have been better options out there. And I know the guy's had an up and down career. Obviously, he's played in 2 Stanley Cup Finals. Hellebuck's played in 0. Kind of thing. But yeah, I don't understand that signing altogether, unless Hellebuck gets traded. But at the same time, do you really want Stuart Skinner to be your starter?
I think it's great. You have an experienced goalie who would be an upgrade over Comrie. Yes, acknowledged. Much more expensive. New scenery could give him new life. Also, Wade Flaherty could give him new life. Let's not forget about that dude and him coaching Connor Hellebuck and him getting his hands on Winnipeg goalies and making goalies better. He's an all-world goalie coach. So, and let's not, I know we might not want to talk about it to jinx the situation, but hey, if he gets traded, at least you have a solid goalie under the tutelage of Wade Flaherty, who could step in and has played a lot of games and has been successful on a certain level. And maybe with a more defensively minded, defensively steady team in Winnipeg, he does play a little bit better. Because he's not far away from being a decent goalie. And you don't need an all-world goalie to win the Stanley Cup.
No, I mean, Carolina just showed it. You need guys who can step up. Frederick Anderson is always a very good goalie, but when he faltered, Brandon Bussi stepped up and took the reins, right? And that might be the way. And if you're going to do this with Stuart Skinner, then let him play 30 games, right? Let him play a little bit more and let Hellebuck not play as much. And maybe that helps him stay fresh for the playoffs. I don't know, but
Or get him pissed off and be like, "Get me out of here now." Imagine if he was a deadline deal.
Hellebuck?
Again? When's the last time a goalie like that caliber has been dealt at the deadline? Ever?
Didn't Bob Essensa get traded at the deadline to Detroit?
Are you saying
Bob
Essensa? He's a Jets goalie. That's the comparison.
I'm sure it's happened, right? But it's just never worked out. It's never worked out in that term of thing, right? Because goalies they need time to adjust. You're used to the way your defense plays in certain ways, and your defense is also gets used to how you play as a goalie, right?
They know what to lead. They know what angles to play.
Exactly. When you go to a brand new team and you got a couple weeks to figure shit out, it doesn't usually work out very well.
Yeah, he's like, "Why are you guys standing in front of me right now?"
Yeah, the old goalie like that.
Exactly. He didn't want to see anything. It's like, okay, thanks, bro. One word to describe the signing of Ferraro. I'm gonna say solid. Me personally, I like a good, solid shutdown, physical defensive lineman. The Jets, I might not have griped on it a lot, but they need some grit. They need some grit. They, not saying just fight-wise, but Adam Lowry can't be your grittiest guy on a nightly basis. And I think this guy turns up the grit meter for sure. He's a guy who finishes his checks. He's a guy who will block shots. He played the penalty kill. Man, Jets in general, their special teams gotta get so much better. They gotta get so much better, but any which way. I like the signing. Solid. High energy too.
You know, I tried to think of a different word off the top of my head, but I'm going to stick with it because I put solid as well.
See?
You know, and hopefully this solidifies that third pair, right, with Solomonson. You got no more Stanley, you got no more Luke Shen. Colin Miller is gone too, which to me, you probably should have played Colin Miller more, but whatever. But yeah, you got three solid pairs right now, obviously, injuries aside kind of thing, right? And you need some of these guys like DeMello and Pionk to kind of step back up after not so great seasons last year. Same with Sandberg. I don't know if that injury affected him into the season. He just wasn't himself, right? As much as he was the previous year. But I do like the deep pairings that we have. And you know what? Shout out to Ville Heinola, who got signed by Vegas before Logan Stanley has gotten signed by any other team.
Your boy.
Just had to throw that in there.
Your boy.
But I like this Ferraro signing.
Oh my god, he might be a second pairing.
Well, he plays on the left side though, right? So that's Sandberg's kind of thing. Our left side is pretty good. Our right side again has question marks. So.
The left side has always been good. Well, that's a thing. Yeah. It's not just a Jets thing. It's a league-wide thing for some reason. Well, because of the way people think. Any which way. Science. Winnipeg Jets fans, NHL fans, put your thoughts in the comments section below. Thoughts on Chevy saying Bjork will play center? Do you think he'll play in the NHL this season? What's one word to describe Stuart Skinner's signing and one word to describe the Ferraro signing? Don't forget to smash. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Benny, do you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Go Bombers, go. And I know you probably will be listening to this a day after the game, but go Canada.
Let's go. World Cup action. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime, and in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.